We're the voice of the voiceless. Enough said.
Welcome back to Enough Said, second episode of this new year. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
New year, new attitude, baby. Got attitude going on, you know. Check our shirt out.
We're wearing the shirt that Cherry Point made, handmade.
Enough Said shirt.
Right. And these are the brand new Enough Said printed shirts, printed / hand painted. We have the neck piece that's hand painted.
Wow.
And the line on the front.
See the back. Okay, there it is. There it is. Demo has the back. Okay.
The front and the back going on, and we're gonna have these for sale, and they're super soft. Oh my God, they're like
They are like velvet.
Sweatshirts.
I want to
you know,
was so soft. Oh my gosh, I love it. Nice
and
on the skin.
as you can see, they come in different colors, different sizes, and they're really soft and comfy. And yeah, enough said about that. So again, Happy New Year. And today's topic, you know, we were so happy to get past 2020. You know, we were all looking forward to 2021. And as soon as 2021 comes in, this whole crazy thing happened at the Capitol, the United States Capitol, that I'm sure you all know about. Big coup is what they're calling it. Some call it marching, protesting. I don't know. The Trumpsters went out and tore the place up. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And should Trump be impeached for it? Gemma, what say you?
Well, you know, I hate to knock people when they're down, but President Trump was impeached twice. Impeached twice. Oh my God, the first time in history. And his second impeachment, both impeachment was well deserved in my opinion. But this second, now he's saying that he's denouncing the riots. It's a little bit too late. A little bit too late. What an insurrection that was. What a storming of the Capitol that was. It was the most disgraceful.
I'm sorry, but after the storming and the whole talk about impeachment, I haven't watched the news. So are you saying he was impeached?
Yeah, twice today. He was impeached twice. Yeah, and then they are debating whether he will be removed from office. They can't do it before he actually leaves office, so they may have to do it after he leaves office. And the symbolism of that is that he wouldn't be able to run for president again, and he would lose certain benefit as president. And
so what was the impeachable vote? I mean, was it partisan, nonpartisan?
Well, it was more nonpartisan than before. We had they had at least 10 Republicans that voted with the Democrats to impeach him. And even Mitch McConnell, who is his buddy, says he committed impeachable offenses. So what do you think about it? What do you think about the insurrection, the riots, whatever you want to call it? A police officer died, for crying out loud. Two
police officers died.
Two.
Here's what I think. I think that the police officers should be the ones who take the blame. I mean, when you think back to the 2020 Black Lives Matter marches, you know, you can all remember, you know, when the police put up their blockades and stuff, and the Black marchers were on the one side. What did the police officers do? Run them over. They ran right through
tear gas.
What did those police officers do when Trumpsters came to the gate? They opened the gate for them. So if they hadn't done that, none of that would have happened. So they should take the blame for it. You know what I mean? There's no way. I could understand, Trump believes that he won, just like I do, and he wanted a march on the Capitol, but there was no way for him to say, you know, go in, bust out the windows, and do all this crazy stuff. He didn't do that. So in my opinion, it's not his fault. It's the police officers' fault, because if it were Black people, they would have never gotten past that gate.
That's
and
true.
That's my final answer.
Caroline?
Well, one of the things he's been charged for is inciting an insurrection. he had the rally, and he told the supporters to go, basically invade go to the Capitol and encourage them to stop the steal. So those words, what does that say to people who are already angry because they felt like something is stolen from them? I don't know what, because it can't be that an election is fraudulent only in the states that he lost. So it's not fraudulent in the states that he won, but in the states that he lost, it's fraudulent. That just cannot be. The other thing is, the election wasn't even close. So even if they fought and got Georgia, they still had to get Pennsylvania, they had to get Wisconsin. It's like 4 states before Trump can win. So it's not even close for them to be even thinking that anything was stolen. That whole stolen thing is based on a lie. So I think one of the things they're charging him for as well is constantly saying this to his supported, or verbally, that the election was stolen, which is a lie. So that's also on the impeachment article. And there was a third thing that I can't remember right now. But I just want to say, when I saw these people crawling on buildings, up in sky lifts, and on the Capitol building, the first thought was, it's like I went to a different place in history. And, it felt like, like what you would imagine when they talk about insurrection or storming Jerusalem, or I couldn't believe I was in the United States of America watching this happen at the Capitol.
I agree. Let's save that and for later. So I agree with that 100%. They look like monkeys climbing the fence, and in my opinion, that was white on white crime right there. So you always hear about black on black crime, and when white people commit crime, it's white on white crime. And I agree, before we get to the police who opened the door and some of them were taking pictures, you have to know who caused it. Who caused those people to be there? And that was the words of Donald Trump at his rally. So he is responsible, he's complicit, he's a co-conspirator in this action. Secondly, go ahead.
I mean, years ago, I joined Senator Vincent Hughes and Shirley Ralph in a march on Washington. We all have done it, or different organizations have done it. Black Lives Matter have done marches because you're fighting for something you believe in. In his case, he has every right. If he believes that the election was stolen, he has every right to do a march on it. You know what I mean?
A march, but not with weapons.
The bottom line is, even the news media said, why weren't more officers there? Why weren't, I mean, they all knew that this whole march on the Capitol was being planned. It was all over Twitter. It was all over Facebook. It's not like it just happened. They all knew it was planned. So when the Black Lives Matter is marching, and the Black Lives Matter is planning to march on something, they are prepared with all kinds of police officers and all kinds of military and all kinds of everything. So even the media said that. Why weren't they prepared?
Let me answer that. They were not prepared because
it was shown that they opened the gate for these people. So how can you blame Trump?
Because Trump never sent out the National Guard. He sent them out for Black Lives Matter. He sent them out and he told them to stand back for this. He would not deploy them until after everything was ruined. We're at the very end. He's in control of the military. He's in control of the National Guard. And he deliberately had less police. The Capitol Police were there, but we didn't have enough, and Trump planned it so we wouldn't have enough police officers.
Didn't you see him watching it with his son, and all of them sitting there watching it? Now, if a president was not in on it, why didn't he immediately get on the radio or the news and and speak against it immediately. He watched it, and they were having a party while they were watching it. Let me just say, it's an inside job. The police, there were police officers in on it. There were even senators
and Congress people. Yes,
it wasn't just the police officers. There are senators that were in on it.
Sit back, Carol. We're losing your head.
There were senators, and it's obviously orchestrated by Trump and his sons and his crew. They literally watch it played out.
And laugh.
Now, can you imagine if he was so surprised that somebody's attacking the Capitol building? You, as the president of the United States, would immediately jump on the news and say, I do not support this. This is not what I meant when I say go to the Capitol.
Here's the thing. If he even went on the news, who out there do you think would be watching the news to hear what he had to say?
Somebody would tell them. Somebody would tell them. They have phones with them. They would stand down.
Own thing. They're doing their own thing.
No.
You know, you say go march and
stand down and stand back.
And the people took it into their own hands.
Did you know that they had people in the Capitol texting? That means they had their phones to them where different senators were located, where Nancy Pelosi's office and where she was. Did you know they had congresswomen in the office telling them where to go and what to do? So they orchestrated the whole.
Okay, so why is Trump the one being blamed?
He watched it and did nothing.
Why are those texters being blamed?
He told them to do that. He told them, the senators, to do that.
You're the president of the United. Think about if it was, let's say it was Muslims attacking the Capitol. Do you think the president would just stand and watch and say and do nothing? He would have deployed the National Guard. He would have sent all the police force that he could immediately. That was an attack on the Capitol, and he stood and he watched and he did nothing about it. So if it's just in his failure to act, he needs to be held responsible.
Absolutely.
Well, he needs to be held responsible. It is not he alone. All those senators who were texting people what to do, they should all be unseated. You know what I'm saying?
All of them.
I agree, but you know what? The person at the head has to take the blunt of it. When anything happened in my office, and if my secretary does something wrong, I have to take the blame for it when I send out the document. So the head person has to take responsibility, and he really failed in his duties. Even if he didn't incite it, which we know he did, he failed in his responsibility to prevent it and stop it. He was enjoying it. Not just for enjoy, they were dancing and having a party and laughing and enjoying.
You saw that on video.
Yes. Yeah, it's on video. It's on video. They're watching and dancing and enjoying it. And I thought it was a made up video. But when you look at the TV screen that they were watching it unfold. You could see the insurrection unfolding, and so they're having a good time. Dancing, and Trump is standing right there watching and said nothing. He orchestrated it.
And so going back to his impeachment twice, I don't know if the Atlanta housewife, Real Housewife of Atlanta, they hold peaches in their screen. And if you get a peach, you're good. So maybe they can give a peach to Donald Trump and let him become a Real Housewife of Atlanta after this. But I'm telling you, 2 peach, really? 2 impeachment. 2 gets to impeachment. And he so deserves it.
I do want to say this. Before Donald Trump, I was registered as independent because I don't pledge loyalty to any one party. But let me tell you, after I see how biased Republicans can be, after I heard them today on Capitol Hill excusing away an insurrection on the Capitol building where they went after Mike Pence. They wanted to hang Mike Pence. They wanted to shoot Nancy Pelosi. Did you know? I didn't know that they shot into the office.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they shot into the chambers and the cops shot back. So this is how serious this is. those senators could have lost their lives.
Yes.
And yet I saw and heard Republican senators still backing the president after something like this. That I could
take it you're no longer an independent.
I could never be Republican. Now I'm totally going towards the Democratic Party, and I probably will be with the Democrats for a long time, because if that's the mentality of, it's only 10 Republicans that voted to impeach, 191 saw everything that happened, knew that the Democrats and Mike Pence could have gotten killed, and they still did not vote to impeach.
Here's what you don't understand, Carol. Had it been a Democratic president who did the same thing, you know what the Democrats would do? They would defend him to the T. It's called loyalty to your party. You folks don't know much about loyalty. You know what I mean? You have to remain loyal to your party. Understand what I'm saying?
If it was a Democrat that did that, the Democratic Party would have left them in drove. The Democrat don't stand for those kind of nonsense.
No, they would have. You probably would have had 10 Democrats who went against the.
It doesn't work like that when it's Democrat. You have to look back in history.
In general, you have to stay loyal for the cameras, and then you go behind the scenes.
That's a Trump talk. That's not true. That's not how it works.
And not when it comes to impeachment.
Loyalty. Right now, the Democrats have taken back the Senate. The Republicans cannot afford to not stay loyal to, because they're the lesser now. He
has gone far way beyond. He almost overthrew the country. It's like a coup. He has gone way beyond. And let me just say this, thanks to that one of those police officers who the whole group was coming, rioters were coming towards him, and he ran up the steps and he tried to save them. Then he ran up the steps, he looked in the direction of the Senate, and he went the other way and led the mob away from the Senate because he knew they weren't all secured there. He's a hero.
That's what people are saying. But guess what? Had it been a Black Lives Matter group running through there, he would have been firing shots.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been running. He would have been busting shots. And that's what everybody's been talking about.
But everybody knows that
they let them in. The police black police officer would have been fired if he killed one of those white guys.
Yeah, if the black police officer knew Sherry Point, if he had killed one of those white folks, his penalty would have been so severe. So he did a very wise thing. But you're correct. If it was
when it's black people marching, the penalty is nothing. So it's okay to go ahead and bust shots and lick off the black man's head.
Correct.
Right.
And guess what? This leads you to know now that this thing is there's some racism in it. Because today on the Senate floor, they had the nerve to say, oh, when the far left marched, which far left march? Black people march against police brutality, and now they're associating the left with the Democratic Party with black people, and it's because of that why these people are so angry now. Beneath their behavior is the fact that they don't believe that the blacks should have a right to vote and help a president to be elected in office. This is why they wanted to stop the town terrified. Go ahead, Gemma.
Let me say this. There are a lot of police officers and military folks, and it just came out in the news, that are also part of this movement. And they said that extremists has infiltrated the military and the police unit. Well, I know they've been there for a while. I know they've been there for a good number of police officers and military people are taking Proud Boys and all that stuff.
Ku Klux Klan members.
Yes. So I don't know why they're saying it as if they're so surprised. Whenever black people talk about white privilege, which obviously they didn't get, a lot of them didn't get shot. Only one rioter got shot. You know, or one, and the others died because they were in trouble. Because if it was black people, it's white privilege. If it was black people, a whole host of people would have been dead. You'd have had at least 40 people dead on that Capitol steps.
Yeah. The whole internet went up in roar talking about that same thing. You know, everybody noticed it. Everybody noticed the difference. When it's Black Lives Matter and there's a barricade, no,
and
you
a
just
peaceful
drive
protest, they
your
still
truck
shoot us.
You just drive your truck over innocent people. But when white people come to your fence, you open the gate and let them in. You know, come on.
I think Donald Trump is a white supremacist. Donald Trump was at the root of this thing.
Yes.
Which Capitol Police is going to risk their jobs and open up the Capitol to a mob if they didn't get some intel from the president to say, I will pardon you. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and do it.
No. They're the same police officers who watch a terrorist, a white boy kill, 15 or so black people in the church and turn around and take him to go buy Burger King food.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They don't need anybody to give them inside information.
About the Capitol building, one of the most secure buildings in the United States. Right. And in the Senate, it's majority white. Who would brave that if the president did not give them the okay to do it?
Not only, and set up inside contacts to
militants.
No, I'm telling you, guys.
Militants, Proud Boys, and racist would. They don't need any intel.
How would they even get in? And how is it that
we're open for them?
That's because they put that leader there. They said that police officer is probably one of the Proud Boys, and he let them in. He let them
in. So what are you saying?
And then Donald Trump watched.
Trump is a Proud Boy too.
You're talking about Trump watching and finding fun in it, and dancing around and stuff. Well, if you didn't plan on that, but it happened, what are you gonna do?
You tell them to stop. What do you mean? What are you gonna do? You call down your boys. You call down your hounds.
Okay. At that point, he could come in and tell them, "No, don't do that." He can't.
Of course he could.
They're already in motion. It's already.
They were getting texts and everything. They were listening to him.
The black people rioted and broke some buildings, and he came out like a roaring lion, and he sent those military people out to stop rioters and looters. Yet you had an insurrection on the most secure building with senators' life at stake, and you're gonna tell me he just stand there and do nothing? He should be not only impeached, he should be removed from office.
And he should be arrested. He should be arrested.
You want too much. You want too much. You wanted Biden to win. Biden won. Now, like what?
He is in the background stirring up things. You got to get him away. He is going to cause problem to the Biden presidency, the Biden-Harris presidency. He is a threat to the security of this country. They
locked him out of Twitter. They locked him out of Facebook.
Good.
He needs to go to jail.
Cut his voice. So what do you want?
Because he talked too much.
Let me tell her what we want. We want him to go to jail. We want him to lose all the benefits that a president should get after the presidency. And he needs to be locked up for a very long time. Imagine this, this is what everybody is not remembering. If that black cop had led them away from the Senate, they were going in shooting. They were going in to kill. They were not going in just to let their voices heard. They were going in for the kill.
Carol, it was all over the internet where they were telling each other, bring your rifles, bring your weapons.
Trump agreed with that. Trump agreed to endorse that.
The police should have been, the president should have been a whole lot more
Cause less police to be there.
They should have been there to protect the.
Trump didn't order them away. I'm telling you, it's all orchestrated. And guys, I just heard some fireworks in my development. I've never heard fireworks since Christmas or since the New Year's. So it must be that Trump has been impeached twice. Their firecrackers where they're going off so loudly in my neighborhood. But,
well, you're in an area where they typically support Trump, so they're not. They're not for tomorrow.
I'm surprised at the fireworks going off since Trump has been impeached twice. I am happy for that.
They're not for tomorrow. You'll be fine.
I do want to say, Cherry Poet, let's not forget, 5 people are dead because of this senseless rioting. This is more serious.
How many people are dead because of Black Lives Matter?
Huh?
Well, rioters died.
Because of Black Lives Matter.
Rioters died.
What you should be saying is only 5? That's what you should be saying.
No. But listen, I have a pet peeve, and I have a pet peeve that they're charging these people with such small crimes like, petty things like, they need to charge them with causing the death of the police officers, crossing state line with weapons. Possession of weapons. There's so many assault. I hear they hit the policeman with a fire extinguisher and killed him. Domestic terrorism. There you go.
Cherry Pie.
Listen, we are running out of time, and I support Trump. And look, his presidency is pretty much over anyway. And look, as far as I'm concerned, it's over with and done. You guys got what you want. You have a new president to look forward to. That's what you wanted. So be happy. Don't be sad.
Tell their president to stand down and stand off and go under a rock.
I'm sorry for everyone who lost their lives in these senseless riots.
I agree.
From Black Lives Matter onto this. And I just want to say condolences to all the loved ones who have been hurting.
Nancy Pelosi, I feel it for her. You must have been so afraid. I'm so sorry about all that happened. It was horrible. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Enough Said Podcast TV, hosted by Jemo, Harolite, and Cherry Poet. Do remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and remember, we are
the voice of the voiceless. It's on YouTube. Press the like button on YouTube and comment on YouTube, not on WhatsApp, guys.
There you have it. See you next time.
Bye.
Current events, injustice, police brutality, systematic racism, politics. What say ye? Enough said.